Hey guys, it's me Kate again. So this video is my May wrap-up. So here I'll be talking about all the books that I read in the month of May. So let's go. The first book that I read was The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Kuhn, in which we're following Linus, who has been working as a government official for basically these orphanages which house children with powers, and his days are really boring. It's basically him going in the office and back home, up until one day when he gets his assignment to go to this one orphanage which houses the most dangerous kids, including the Antichrist. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book. It was really fun. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Then I reread actually Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, which is first book in the Carry On series, in which are following Tamsyn Muir, who is worst chosen one ever to be chosen. Basically, his magic doesn't work half of the time, and the other half he ends up just creating chaos. And at the start of this book, his roommate doesn't show up for their first day of the final year of school, but which it's suspicious to Simon because his roommate is actually the star pupil in their class. So, and stuff goes from there. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And then I actually read Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. In this one, this is his book in Throne of Glass series, in which we're following an assassin named Selena Serdotin, who prior to the events of the first book has been captured and is working as a slave in salt mines up until the day when the captain of the King's Guard comes with Aesor to the Crown Prince, who gives the opportunity to be his champion in a fight to be King's assassin in exchange for her freedom. I enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was actually the first time that book that's divided by 2. So in this series didn't get automatically 5 out of 5 stars. Which was the first time. Second book I gave 5 out of 5 stars off the bat, as well as the fourth book. And now, and this one has only got 4 stars. Even though it's not bad, it's definitely out of the ordinary. Then I actually listened to audiobooks of Gideon the Ninth, Harrow the Ninth, and Nona the Ninth, which are first 3 books in the Locked Tomb series by Tamsyn Muir, which is basically which was marketed as lesbian necromancers in space. Basically, what happens is that at the beginning of the first book, so Gideon the Ninth, basically the people from the 9 houses, actually 8, considering that they traveled to the first house, so houses 2 through 9 got invited to the first house for something. And considering that the leader, the children of the current leaders were summoned, they all need to get one person to travel with them from their house, and Harrow, who is the revenant daughter of the house, ends up reading Gideon because of some reason, and I don't remember the reason, and stuff goes from there. I gave all 3 books 3 out of 3 stars just because first book I enjoyed the most probably. Second book was crazy. Maybe because I was listening to a book, I couldn't figure out what was happening when. And third book was also weird, and I was confused half of the time. So then I reread The Golden Boys by Phil Samper. So in this one we're following Gabriel, Reese, Sal, and Heath, who are best friends, and this is their first summer they'll be spending apart, and they're trying to find themselves as individuals. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Then I listened to the Seal and Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was okay. I don't remember what it was about. Then I listened to the audiobook of The Doctors of Blackwell by Janice P. Nimura, which I also gave 3 out of 5 stars. I also don't remember what it was about. Then I listened to the audiobook of The Taste of Food by Gemma Rose Netcourt, also 3 out of 5 stars. And in that one we're following basically grandchildren of Baba Yaga, who after her death inherited her house, Taste of Food, which is basically house on chicken legs, and stuff goes from there. And then I listened to The Invisible Women by Kellen Cuado Perez, which is basically non-fiction all about how doctors ignored the women's pain. In history, gave 3 out of 5 stars. It was okay. Then I listened to the audiobook of The Whisperman by Alex North, which is basically, I think, I don't remember, is it thriller or horror, about the guy, about the person who basically whispers to children through the window, I think, and then kills them. It was okay. Then I read the ebook of Atomic Habits by James Clear, which is basically all about the habits. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was okay. Then I listened to Dead Voices by Catherine Arden, which is her middle grade horror series. It was okay. I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Then I reread The Way of the Argos by Sebastian de Castel, which is prequel to Spellslinger series, in which her following Kellen, who is just about to take his magic trial, but his magic starts failing. And in Way of the Argos, you're following his Argos mentor, various prefects. And then I read Bite by Jessica Young, which is sequel to Shine, in which you're following 17-year-old Rachel Kim, who basically escaped of Jenny, and if her label doesn't debut her then, they probably never will. And when the opportunity presents itself for her to sing a duet with her label's Golden Boy, she jumps to it. And this one is following her, I think, 5 years later, and she's in a famous K-pop group. Then I listened to the audiobooks of Never Been Kissed by Timothy Janowski and You're the Mean One, and Matthew Prince by the same author, which are basically books 1 and 2 in the companion series, in which are following gay romances, which and both of them I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I listened to the audiobook of Spellbound by F.T. Lukens, in which are following Rook, who just wants to be who comes into the office of most famous witch of their generation, and he wants to be her assistant, even though apprentice, even though he doesn't have any magic. And son, who is apprentice of the said witch's rival, and how they are trying to solve things together, and how it goes from there. Then I reread A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, which are the first two books in the Court of Thorns and Roses series, in which are following Feyre, who one day after, while hunting for her family, accidentally kills a Fey wolf, whose bosun comes and takes her away to his castle. And then I reread Half Bad. I gave both of those 5 out of 5 stars. Then I reread Half Bad, Half Lost, and Half Wild by Sally Korean, which are part of Half Bad trilogy, in which are following Nathan, who is half Fairborn witch and half Blood witch, and basically as he struggles to navigate his life. And in the first book, he's basically been imprisoned in this cage for a while, and he has to escape before his 17th birthday, because if he doesn't get the blood of his relative and 3 gifts and comes into his full power, he might die. Then I reread, I gave all 3 of those 5 out of 5 stars. Then I reread Naming Paulina P by Sonia Pollack, which is basically all about Paulina P, who tells us the story of her day-to-day life in the form of a diary. I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Then I reread Marked by Shadows by Lisa Casey, which is a second book in Simply Crafty series, in which are following, which is Paranormal Woman series between 2 guys who actually have something to do with ghosts, and it all starts when one of them, because he was in the army and has PTSD, can't find a job, so his twin brother finds him a job with the other guy, who actually is leading these ghost tours around New Orleans, and he needs a bodyguard because people are threatening him, and so it goes from there. I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Then I reread The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page, in which we are following a group of girls, all of whom are in sorority of witches, and some of them decide to disappear. They have to team up and figure out what's going on. I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read The Witch's Daughter by Paula Braxton. I cannot even tell you what it was about. It was just average. I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Then I reread Felix Ever After by Kenson Calendar, in which we're following Felix, who is trans, queer, and black, and one day he becomes a victim of transphobic bullying, and stuff goes from there. And I gave 5 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I read was Vengeful by V. Schreiber, which is the second book in the Villains series, in which are following basically these 2 guys who were best friends in college and decided to become extraordinary, which are people with powers, and only way to become an extraordinary is to have a near-death experience. So they start killing themselves and each other to get powers. And now it's 10 years later and they're mortal enemies, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. Down below for my social media, my email, and some other stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.